مصطفى فريد.
أكد بس إن هي شغالة. I think إن هي كده تمام. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody. And I was sitting here now, I have noticed something. This very impressive logo of the lady. Her half face is the Egyptian flag, and the other half face is skeleton. If we look at the Egyptian flag, if the red part of the flag extended to her nose, this would be the trigeminal nerve dermatomal distribution. I think so. So it refers to neurology. Okay. We have, it's not a challenging case, but there are 3 learning points from flow diverter cases. This is a totally normal aneurysm, ophthalmic aneurysm. I treated with stent-assisted coiling, and I placed a Neuroform Atlas stent, and after 6 months follow-up, I found a recanalization. And the literature says that if you use a stent, the recanalization is 17.5%, which is much lesser than coils alone. But I think this does not apply to Neuroform Atlas stent. I did not know this at that time, but now I know. And I retreated this aneurysm again with a flow diverter. I placed more coils, then I placed my flow diverter inside the Neuroform Atlas stent. So this is my first learning point. Not all stents are equal. There are braided stents and there are non-braided stents. The braided stents are the ones who cause a flow diversion and reduce the incidence of recanalization. But with flow diverters, they are efficient, but it comes with a price. Thromboembolic events can happen from 4 to 8%, and a total vessel occlusion can happen in 5%. That's why before considering to place a flow diverter, you should check the circle of Willis. In this case, we can see there is an aneurysm in the distal carotid, and the blue arrow points towards the anterior cerebral artery. We can also see you can only see the right anterior cerebral artery. The left one we cannot see. And when we made another angio from the other side, we can see only one anterior cerebral artery. That means that the ecom is insufficient. The circle of Willis is insufficient in this case. So if I were to treat this aneurysm with a flow diverter, I have to make sure that my flow diverter does not cover the origin of the anterior cerebral artery, because there is a chance that it may occlude and there will be a major stroke if this happens. So I placed my flow diverter very, very carefully, ensuring not to cover the origin of the anterior cerebrum. The last thing that comes with price with flow diverter is delayed rupture. It's very rare incidence, it's 1.4%, but it happens mainly with large aneurysms. That's why in the first aneurysm, I did not place a flow diverter in first hand. But while retreating it, I was treating a much smaller residual lumen. That's why it was much safer to place a flow diverter. But if you are treating a flow diverter in the cavernous segment, I think you shouldn't be worried that much about delayed rupture. Even if the 1.4% happens, it will lead to a carotid cavernous fistula. It will not lead to a subarachnoid hemorrhage. And thank God this aneurysm was treated efficiently. And believe it or not, this is the follow-up CT angio after 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mostafa. Any questions from the audience? Thank you, Dr. Mostafa.